Good even everybody. Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you in the USA Severe Weather Network Center again. Just going to pass along a couple warnings in place. Severe thunderstorm warning in process now at 8:39 for north central Lincoln County and Eldon counties into this is in Kansas into 9:30. At 8:39, a severe thunderstorm is located 8 miles southwest of Grubb or 10 miles southwest of Lincoln, moving northeast at 25. Hazard. Winds up to 70 miles an hour and quarter-size hail. A trained weather spotter have reported 65 miles of wind in Silver Grub. So this could probably rip up trees and do some damage to mobile homes are likely with the storm. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. If you enlisted in any of these communities, you definitely probably want to get into a safe spot. Just get away from windows. It's starting to get a report of 60 miles of gust. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, and this goes into effect into 9:30. And get all the markers back on here with you, and you can see that we have a couple kinks. Anytime you get a kink, I don't like to see the kinks because what that does is give you plenty of rotation to get storms going. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning with this whole area that goes into effect at 9:30. And new warning just got in place. We got to pass that along. That runs it back for Overton County and north central Kansas into 9:45 Central Time. At 8:41, a severe thunderstorm located along a line extending from 7 miles north of Victor to Lincoln to 6 miles northwest of Elger, moving on 55 miles an hour. Hazard 70 miles of wind gust. So, folks, you got to just get away from the windows now. This storm is pretty strong. It's producing some very strong signs of very strong winds. So you probably want to get away from windows again and let the storm pass you. Like I said, the storm is still capable of producing some very large, some winds up to 70. So that means just get away from the windows and let these storms pass you. Put the velocity. Anytime you get a kink, you get potentially of some weak sheared with the storm. So definitely we could see some wind damage tonight that comes in, and that's why we're gonna have to watch these. Just report from the fire department as some wind gusts starting to get some circulation, some weak. All right, we got somebody on here. Isaac, can you hear me? I can only be on to 10, then I gotta get off. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes. Segment here, tracking. This would be approaching again, parts of central Kansas there into between Hays and Salina. Going here on the Dodge City radar. Looks like the worst of this is passing through the east of Lincoln towards Tesket, towards Glendale in Kansas. This is where I'm seeing returns here on the velocity data here. I would definitely say at least we got some strong outflow with this. So I mean, this is where we're likely experiencing some significant especially I would be
I would be
for the folks
for the folks
area
here
over the
for the
within the hour or so, the way these things are tracking. And obviously, we're looking at this intense Boeing segment tracking almost due east northeast, about 25 or so miles per hour. Spotter reports gusts over, gusts near 65 miles per hour. With this particular Boeing segment. And again, I will emphasize that we've seen some particular breaks, so a lot of the instability we're dealing with in all this is further along.
this is further along.
And,
And
and what we're likely seeing here is at the particular boundary layer. Um, so again, this is we're not really dealing with much instability at the surface by any means here. We're there's I don't think we're likely going to expect tornadoes by any means with this activity we're keeping tabs with tonight. The main concern definitely is damaging winds, but as it does track into this environment here where there's a little bit tighter, I mean a slightly higher wind shear, more substantial. I think a lot of what we're seeing here is outflow from these thunderstorms that will probably end up producing mostly damaging winds, but there have been some breaks here and there, so this is tapping into some higher lapse rates. Uh, so a lot of what we're dealing with is mixed layer instability. And again, you do
One
have
report,
some.
Isaac. One report of slightly larger
Yes.
than quarter size hail.
Yeah, I was going to say we do have some fairly healthy updrafts with these. I would keep a close eye on areas around Ellsworth, just north
I
of there. It
have.
looks like we do.
Because that
Just
storm
some
is up to 70 miles a gust with that.
Yeah, so again, what we're likely seeing is some intense thunderstorm outflow, and sometimes what you do see there, again, we're seeing that boundary layer. It's tapping into that boundary layer convection. We're likely getting a lot of saturated air with some of these updrafts, and we've got some super cool. And then that's when we're likely, in those red colors on the reflectivity, that could be, strong downdraft winds and potentially some large hail embedded within there. And again, I will point out, a lot of what we're seeing here is just some broad wind shear. Again, it's not really tight, nothing I would consider tornadic by any means, but I think I've been following this activity here near Elzum. While that is not showing significant signs of rotation at this point, there's still there's still a little bit of wind shear associated with that. I would expect that's probably where we're seeing some of the strongest winds here, just east of there per radar. Another get a Saihan, maybe some weak rotation here. This would be into the Beverly area, but again, it's nothing that's fairly tight. So I would keep a very close eye on this line, especially tracking into like some of these other communities here across central Kansas, such as Concordia, down towards Salina.
At 8:30, I don't mean to pause, but at 8:30, quarter size hail was reported in Lawrence area.
Okay. Yeah, once again, there have been several instances along this line where we have seen some severe hail reports. I'm not particularly sure if there's any reports of damage at this point, but I'm going to see what the is saying here in terms of like anything that has been received to them directly.
Hmm.
But again, I will point out we've had a couple of, not really many damage reports. A lot of what we've seen earlier today would be hail reports.
Yeah, I could give you some
Uh,
hail reports, Isaac. We had earlier. I'll give you some hail reports, okay? We had one report of 2.5 inches of hail earlier. So what does that be? Would that be softball or baseball?
that a 2.5 diameter, that would be tennis ball. Looks like that occurred
Let me
in
check and see that report's right. So hold on a second.
Pawnee County, Kansas. Yeah. Again, we've had a hail. We've had one report of, again, tennis ball hail, but a lot of what we've been seeing here, mostly instances of quarter-sized hail, embedded reports where you see that higher hail sizes, potentially from golf ball, ranging up from golf ball to tennis ball size, and again, generally in isolated areas. We don't expect a hail that large to be a persistent issue here with this line of storms. I think right now we're transitioning to more of a thunderstorm outflow threat because, again, some of these cells have merged together and we got a little bit of a intense bowing segment here. Kansas, and analysis data. I am really interested in seeing how these storms will behave as they see what the environment is like ahead of what we're seeing here with all of this activity here. So in terms of just overall effective wind shear that we're likely seeing here, 3 kilometer dynamics here. Yeah, it does.
So folks, you got to take these storms seriously.
Yeah, and again, there's not too many people joining us from Kansas.
The reason why I jumped on because
So
that
that
170
will be an
miles of
imminent
wind
danger
gust.
Okay, well, once again, intense bowing segment here that we'll be tracking into the Bennington area. I think that's where the lead edge of this is. I'm going to watch the southern flank of that near Ellsworth pretty closely. It looks like we have some intense downdrafts with that. That's likely where we're seeing some potentially significant hail within there. And if you give me 1 second here, I'm just trying to analyze some more of it's just clutter on radar. But once again, I think we do have.
We had one report earlier, Isaac, a 2-inch hail earlier.
Okay. So once again, to address a lot of the people in like eastern Kansas, in particular parts of Missouri and Arkansas for tomorrow, definitely watching. I'm definitely interested in seeing how broad. Some of the high-res model guidance here that we've been seeing here. So I've had some time to look at it earlier, but I'm interested in seeing how it trends from what I saw earlier. But I will point out there is definitely quite a bit of sounding data and high-res model, quite a bit of surface-based convection here. Just over that area that has been highlighted here. It looks like a broad area in the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook here from central and southern Missouri into Arkansas, Louisiana, sections of central Mississippi, West Tennessee, East Texas. That area has been highlighted, I think.
Somebody said it could be enhanced tomorrow.
Yeah, there is a possibility, not a guarantee. We're gonna that takes quite a bit of discernment, and I mean the most likely area is where the most favorable thermodynamic and kinematic environment um, would likely take shape. So I mean, I've looked at some of the I've looked at some of that data earlier. Um, I would I would expect if we do see a risk upgrade, it would probably be focused a little bit more on like Arkansas and Missouri, maybe into a little ways into the Mississippi River Valley area. But again,
Mm-hmm.
that's I think where we're expecting the highest in terms of like tornado potential, surface-driven convection, and I think what we're gonna have to pay a very close attention to heading into tomorrow is how
Mm-hmm.
like how the temperatures
How much
and
sunshine we get?
yeah, but I mean also like if we're seeing I would definitely be interested in like seeing how much low level moisture we're likely that this is going to likely tap into, like the lead
Here's the
the
tornado ingredients
lead edge of
tomorrow.
the trough. Yeah, and yeah, once again, just the area that they have highlighted, that's indicating the possibility. Um, so again, that is the probability of a tornado within 25 miles of any given location there.
I see some of the Illinois counties are in the yellow, so that still definitely we'll have to watch that tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. But once again, to
I'm trying to look at the latest. Look at the her.
address mostly transition. Um, but if anything, these storms are likely still tracking into an environment where we're still likely dealing with some vertical shear profiles further aloft, and what likely happens with that just along the leading edge level low, and we got a little bit of a closed low here that'll form here, and and along that leading edge, you'll see a lot of the height falls, and that's where
Hmm.
you'll likely see some intense thunderstorm outflow at times here, just along the leading edge of that line. So again, we're likely going to be seeing. All right. So again, just the mesoscale. Seeing what the mesoscale trends are with what we're seeing here, but let's see that our surface low is over. We got a broad surface low that's churning the Great Plains. So if like we can see, we do have a little bit of a short wave. That's where you got the leading edge of. You get all those stronger winds from further aloft. You see the winds. I can definitely see how the winds definitely do shift. And yeah, once again, I mean it's we're likely dealing with quite a bit of wind shear yet. So I mean, I'm going to try this meso analysis again here. See how things are trending here. But again, we'll point out here. For some reason it's not working. There we go. Yeah, I will point out we do have a broad area of wind shear here, 35 to 40 knots there within 3 kilometers of the surface. I mean, it's been fairly sporadic there. We're definitely seeing some interaction with the lead trough there. once again, this environment's tracking into an area where definitely there's some indication where there's some pretty good shear profiles with everything here. Effective. Yeah, I was going to say. Oh yeah, you can go the RAPS SFC data here, which is, I mean, definitely looks as if these storms will still be in the environment where it'll be interacting with some of that wind shear here. But again, if anything, the damage. Yeah, I was going to say, heading into tomorrow morning, I would expect still
Will we have any storms at 6 a.m.?
I mean, if anything, along this line of storms here, heading into tomorrow morning, I don't necessarily think that we have that much boundary layer instability to work with. There'll still be plenty of moisture advecting with this, but again, I think with that upper feature still intact, you may get around a storms here. I don't expect a widespread severe weather event in the early morning hours by any means, but still we could see some storms that may produce gusty winds, some small hail ahead of this. Just embedded. Likely, if anything, there would be an isolated severe storm towards that time. But again, nothing organized. Just you may get some sporadic, instances of gusty winds, heavy rain here and there. But again, likely we're working with a lot more instability heading into tomorrow. So a lot of this would be surface-based convection here that we'll likely see in sections of Arkansas and again, just adjacent parts of central northern Louisiana, Mississippi, western Tennessee, also sections of south of the Missouri Valley here.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a yellow marker here, Isaac.
Yeah, it looks like that would be a mesocycle.
Doesn't really have much sheared with it, but still, I'm not going to roll out a small brief tornado, are you, Isaac?
Well, again, I will point out there's a little bit of interaction there at the surface. While there is, if anything, that would be weak rotation. We're going to follow and see if this intensifies. But once again,
I've been noticing couplets all even long.
Again, if anything, that would be weak rotation. But once again, mostly concerned about just intense damaging winds. Nevertheless, probably some strong downdrafts associated with that as well. So likely where we do get a little mixing and where I think the storm would be in the right environment where you do get interaction at the surface. The inversion profile would likely erode a bit. That would probably we still got a little bit of low level shear, and I think it's moving into the environment where you may get a nice embedded tornado or two, but I wouldn't expect like a strong tornado or anything. And impacts will likely be limited with this line, mostly because it's a lot of what we're seeing is in rural areas, not many trees around the terrain. It's a little hilly. And if anything, a lot of the communities that we're seeing here, again, some older homes I get in some of these smaller towns. But once again, so again,
all right, Isaac, I'm just getting some purple icons here. Purple circles. These pink ones again.
So, once again, that does not indicate that indicates that there is a little bit of interaction there. So that is an indication where you do have a mesocyclone, a rotating updraft, not confined to the base of the storm. That is likely where we're wonder what we're seeing here on the VIL markers.
70 miles of gust with the storm and penny-sized hail.
Okay, and once again, we'll definitely follow with that. But yeah, looks like new scan doesn't really. I don't know if it tightens up substantially, but still, I think a lot of what we're dealing with once again is further aloft there, and looks like an updraft that might be intensifying with that.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
definitely, if you feel threatened by
that will
any of these
mostly
storms,
work.
seek shelter.
Okay.
The safest place to be at, Isaac, tonight is a basement. Small interior room would be the safest place to be at. If you just, best thing to do tonight, folks, is just get away from the windows. I mean, because even
Well,
70
again,
miles per wind is still going to turn things up.
yeah, and again, you don't have to go to your tornado safe area. You just got to be in a site built, or that's the best place to be. Again, just just home that has a proper foundation. Just get away from the exterior part of your away from the outside walls and everything, but also pressing like areas that are the area concern here. Again, I don't expect this will be a widespread severe weather event here.
No.
Just looking at what we're seeing here, I think where we see the most intense damaging winds, embedded tornado or two, probably maybe some.
All right, one warning has got canceled.
Along that. Yeah, that Boeing segment will be pushing into that. I think they just added. Yeah, it looks like they have issued another severe that Boeing cluster into the rest of Kansas here. It's just rendering some of the data here, but it looks like gathers damaging winds to up in excess of possibly up to upwards of 70 miles per hour. But again, the hail threat is a little bit lower, so what that tells me is instabilities on the downward trend at the mixed layer, or the collapse rates are not as steep as well. So this indicates that.
All right, new severe thunderstorm watch, Isaac.
Yeah, again,
through
this
2 o'clock.
Is more stable. Yeah, and again, I don't expect we'll need feeds that late. We're just following this and seeing how that plays. But once again, just Salina into areas around Topeka, Emporia, Concordia, so some of these vicinities here, not too much of a major population area impacted by this, but still, I mean, just once again, we're mostly concerned about the potential for maybe some. Would be low end severe thunderstorms more than likely, so you may get some maybe some embedded damage to your roof, tree, and just exterior siding and outbuildings probably. For those of you indoors, and again,
storm still looks large.
Just be alert as these storms may be moving into the environment that is still primed for possibility of, again, some more intense damaging winds, some intense downdrafts probably, and maybe some downburst gusts embedded within there. Low chance of a tornado, but again, I will stress again. Just be alert as these storms are tracking into that area.
Right now, I think things are looking a little bit better, and we'll continue to keep you updated tonight and tomorrow, and we'll always be here if things actually get out of hand.
Okay.